Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. In my last tutorial, I showed you how to make these triple row wrap bracelets. In order to make them, I needed a loom to keep my cords nice and taut and separated so my beads did not bunch in my bracelet. This here is a traditional loom, and it didn't work for what I needed because I had to start working so close to the button that I couldn't start weaving down here. So I made my own loom to do that, and I'm going to tell you how I made it. So a lot of you have been asking me how I made it. I made it from all the materials that I used for it with stuff that I already had in my garage. So I don't know the exact name of the bolt. I don't know the exact name of these. I guess they would be eye screws. But anyways, I found a board, and I believe it's a 1x4 because it's thinner than a 2x4, and I cut it 12 inches long, and then from the same board I cut these little strips of wood 1 inch long each, and then I sanded them down because they were rough and I didn't want to have splinters, and then I glued them down to my board. And then I knew that I needed something to lay my cords on, or my threads, in case I want to use this for regular seed beads, to keep them from sliding. So I had these bolts that have threads on the whole bolt so my cords don't slide back and forth. So that worked out good. And my bolts are the same width as my board, and my board is 3 1/4 of an inch, and this is also 3 1/4. So I took my eye screw things, and well, first I put a nut on this bolt here because if I didn't, it would hang over my board and I would catch it all the time. So I took and put one eye screw thing on each end and just sit it over top to see where I needed to put my eye screws in. So I screwed them in by hand. So the only tool that I used was the saw just to cut my board, and then I used a tool to grind it. If you don't have a grinder, you can probably use a dremel to smooth it out. So anyways, I took and I put these screws in by hand. If you push really hard and turn them, they'll go in. So I have 2 here on this one and 2 on this one, and this is also an eye screw, and I opened it up to be a hook so I can attach my cord. And I also have an eye screw over here in case I wanted maybe to attach it here to make it longer or whatever. So after I put my nut on my bolt, I put my bolt through these eye pins here, and then I put my nut on, and I tightened it even more with pliers so it wouldn't slide. So I glued these down with super glue because I didn't have wood glue, and I believe that super glue is a heck of a lot stronger than wood glue. And I just have a screw over here. It's in at an angle so I could tie my cords around it, and if you have a screw with a larger head, that would probably be better because mine is a very small head and sometimes my cords pop off of it. So that's how I made it, and if I left anything out, I'll put it in the info box below. It wasn't very hard. Like I said, I only used a saw, power tool, and I used a grinder to make it smooth so I didn't get splinters. It was pretty simple. If you can't make this, if you don't have the materials already or you can't buy it, I've got emails that other people have made looms with lids from like shoe boxes, and they'll take clips like these and they'll clip their cord on one side of the shoebox and then clip the other end on the other side, and they'll work like that. And I've heard that that's worked out really good for a lot of other people. So if you can't make one like this, then you can do something like that. But if you do want to make several of these bracelets, then I would recommend making your own. And I actually like the one that I've made more than the store-bought one. I think that I can do more with it than I can with that one, because that one is so short and this one is longer. So like I said, this was 12 inches. These were 1 inch wide, and I'll put the stuff below. The bolts were 3 1/4 inch long, the same exact width of my board. And I think that's all. So that's how I made it, and thank you for watching, and I'm gonna go on to my next tutorial now.